Hello, YouTubers, friends, compatriots, bootlickers, shills, dust, search peasants, vassals, minions. I'm a useful idiot, and today I want to talk about Saudi Arabia and Lebanon. And the big story is that Saudi Arabia is now going to give $3 billion to the Lebanese military over the next 5 years. And considering that the Lebanese military budget is $1.7 billion a year, at least it was in 2012, $3 billion is a huge gift. So in all of the important ways, Saudi Arabia just bought the Lebanese military. And this reminds me of the way that Saudi Arabia basically took up where the United States left off when the United States faltered on giving more aid to the Egyptian military government. Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates came in and gave something like $13 billion, which salvaged the economy and, of course, empowered Saudi Arabia's relationship with the Egyptian military, which is a very solid relationship. So that's one of the reasons why I'm very confident about the access of Saudi Arabia and Egypt and Israel maintaining a single basic policy. So anyway, in a lot of geopolitical ways, of course, this makes complete sense that Saudi Arabia would get more directly involved in Lebanon. They've been covertly involved for quite some time. And we already know about Saudi Arabia's relationship to the war in Syria. And so the same tensions are being exploited in Lebanon between the Sunnis and the Shia. And Saudi Arabia wants to make sure that the Lebanese choose the right direction. And so Saudi Arabia wants to counter Hezbollah in Lebanon. And that's one of the things, like I say, that makes geopolitical sense. Of course, Saudi Arabia wants to basically go after Hezbollah, a proxy army in Lebanon, financed and armed by Iran, Saudi Arabia's nemesis. So that makes sense. And we'll find further car bombings and suicide bombings and Al-Qaeda elements in Lebanon, because that's the foot soldiers for Saudi Arabia in that region. So we'll probably see more of that. And another interesting part of that story as well is that Saudi Arabia is giving this money to Lebanon, and they are going to buy their weapons from France. So once again, stepping outside of the United States, and as I mentioned in a lot of other videos about Saudi Arabia recently, they're staking out their own foreign policy in the region. So they're stepping aside and have been very critical of the Obama administration of the United States' recent foreign policy in the region, because they want to attack Iran, they want to topple the Assad government in Syria, and now they want to get involved in Lebanon to have the Lebanese army basically be equipped enough that they can challenge Hezbollah, because at this point Hezbollah generally is supplied the security. They are the ones that have conflicts with Israeli incursions into Lebanon, and the Lebanese army needs quite a bit more before they could possibly confront Hezbollah. And an interesting timing, and this brings up, reinforces the idea that I will bring up next. This is a very dangerous policy for Saudi Arabia to pursue in Lebanon, and we're seeing the results of it now. Just today there was another car bomb in Beirut, 5 killed and 50 wounded, very near Hezbollah headquarters. And even though media is saying there's no connection between this and a bombing a week ago, it seems pretty retaliatory bombing to me. A car bombing in Beirut last week killed a prominent Sunni politician, Mohammed Chatta, a former finance minister and an aide to ex-Prime Minister Hariri, who was very critical of Assad and Hezbollah. So we see this is symptomatic of this region, is all these retaliatory bombings. And in fact, in November, the Iranian embassy in Beirut was bombed and 23 were killed. So these are probably either Al-Qaeda elements, Sunni, Shia sectarian bombings, or other agent provocateurs, certainly provided by Saudi Arabia. And There's been dozens of these kind of bombings all over Lebanon of recent, as we see violence from Syria spill over into Lebanon. And that whole situation in Lebanon is exacerbated by the huge refugee crisis, as well as the movement of fighters in and out of Lebanon into Syria, both Hezbollah and other Sunnis and Shias. So this is potentially a dangerous game that Saudi Arabia is playing, but like I say, in geopolitical terms, it's a logical step, and we see once again Saudi Arabia staking out its own foreign policy in the region and becoming a major player in that region, much to the chagrin of their nemesis, Iran. I'm a useful idiot. Don't you be one too.